Welcome student to example number 9 where we will solve an inequality. Inequality is the same as equality, is the same as the equation, except instead of having equal sign, we'll have either less than, greater than, less than or equal, greater than or equal. Now, the idea of how we solve a linear inequality, remember linear equality means we have one variable of power 1, maybe there are a number multiplied by this variable. The idea is we solve it the same way we solve an equation, a linear equation, except if we multiply by a negative or we divide by a negative, this sign has to be flipped. That's the only thing that we need to be cautious. Whenever we divide or multiply, we ensure that we only multiply by positive number. So, that being said, if we want to solve this equation, this inequality, we will solve it the same way we solve equation. So, the first step is we open the bracket. And that's the bracket, we open them here. So we get 2x negative 6 less than 4. Take all the number together, so we get 2x less than 4 plus 6. Why it's a plus? Remember, because when we move it to the other side, the sign has to change. So we get 2x less than 10. Now, this is the crucial step. We will need to divide by 2. That's fine. As long as it is positive, no worries, nothing has to change. We keep everything exactly the same. So we get x less than 10 divided by 2, 5, and that's the solution for the inequality. Now, remember, in this case, we don't need to flip the sign. It's just as is. The reason why? Because this is inequality. And that's the solution. However, when we talk about inequality, the solution can be written in 3 different ways. Let's see what are those 3 different ways. The first one is the usual one of writing solution set. Remember, solution set, we open one bracket, we close this bracket, and here we need to write what x is. Now, only we know that the answer is x less than 5. So we write less than x5, but first we have to explain that x, and we put a line here. So this means x is a number. If we write it here, that means x is a number. And what is so special about this number? It is less than 5. So instead of describing in word, we describe it in this way. This is a standard way called set notation as a solution set. Of course, when we have an equation and the answer x equal to 3, we don't need all those details because I can just write 3 because it's clear. Either I write x equal to 3 or just write 3. But in this case, x is not only one value. It's many values. Any value less than 5 should be fine to be a solution set. Now, the number line notation, which is very important, how we will do it, we will draw the number line. Of course, this side is negative infinity, this side is infinity. Now, where is 5? This is 5. We write 5 here. Now, we ask ourselves, which side is the one that is less than 5? Well, of course, it will be the left side. Everything here is less than 5. So what we are going to do, we will shade this side. Shade. Next, we ask ourselves, what happened at 5? Should we shade 5 like this? Or we shouldn't shade 5 and we make it open? Well, because x is only less than 5, 5 is not included. So we'll just write an open circle here. And that's what we call it, the number line. The last step is to write the answer in terms of interval notation. What do I mean by interval notation? First of all, from where we start shading here, we start from negative infinity. Everything. Where did we stop shading? we stop shading at 5. Is 5 included? No, so we write it as open brackets. This is, we call it open bracket. Is negative infinity reachable? No. So again, negative infinity or infinity, always it has to be open brackets. And that's the 3 methods that we need to write for inequality. So always inequality, keep in mind you have 3 methods, depend on the question. Sometimes we will ask you to do it as a number line, maybe sometimes as an interval. Let's see the next example. Well, the next example is again inequality. How do I know it's an inequality? Because I don't have equal, I have less than or equal. How do I going to solve it? I will solve it the same way. I will solve it the same way as I did for equation. 4 minus 2x. Well, negative 2x will stay here. 4 will go to the other side with a different sign. It's positive, it will go negative. So 6 minus 4. I will get 2x divided by 2. Now, the next step is what we usually do. Is we divide by negative 2. Remember, if we divide by negative 2, something has to change. Let me just do it here. What we need to change, it will be x. Here will be 2 by 2, negative 2. And this sign, let me do it with a very reddish color, has to flip. Flip the sign. Why do we flip the sign? Because we divide by negative. That's the only difference. So what we get is x is greater than negative 1. Now, of course, we need to write it as a solution set, number line, and interval. So let's go ahead and do it here. Well, the first one is the easy one because solution set is a standard notation. We open a bracket, we write x, we write this par line, and here we write what we just said, that x is greater than negative 1. And that's it. That's completely the solution set. Now, for the number line, we should analyze the situation a little bit. I have negative 1 here somewhere. Now, where do I shade? Do I shade this side or this side? Well, how do I know? It's written here, it's hidden here. I want you to shade where x is more than negative 1. Where is the number that are bigger than negative 1? Of course, it is this side. So we shade them. Okay. And exactly at negative 1, what is going on? Is it included? The answer is yes, because there are greater than or equal. So I will write it down and I will make it bold like this. Now, the interval notation usually follows from the number line. My number line starts at negative 1 and it ends at infinity. Is infinity included? Usually we said the standard thing is we always write an open bracket for the infinity. Now, is negative 1 included? The answer is yes, so we have to write it as closed brackets. And that's the 3 type that we need to work on upon. So, example 10, which is, by the way, is kind of similar to the equation. In this example, again, we need to open bracket. Let's do it. So, first of all, we have, let me write the question, and then we can write down what we need. Plus 1 greater than negative 2. Now, first of all, we open the brackets. Now, if we multiply 3 by 2 with x, this is 3 to x negative. Now, if we multiply 3 over 2 by 2, this will only give me 3 plus 1 greater than negative 2 here. Again, I need to multiply it. So what we get negative 2x plus 8, because negative 2 times negative 4 is plus 8. Now let's simplify things around. This is 3 over 2x. This negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. This one I did nothing, so I'll keep it. Take all the x's together. So we get 3 over 2x plus 2x greater than 8 plus 2. Now 3 over 2 plus 2, that will give me 7 over 2 x greater than 10. Now all what you need to do is, again, we divide everything by the number in front of x, which is 7 over 2. Let's divide. Well, here you can use your calculator just to simplify things around. Of course, 7 over 2 will get cancelled, so only we get x greater than 10 divided by 7 over 2. This is only will give me 20 divided by 7. That's the answer for the question. What we need to do next, we write it in 3 ways: solution set, number line, interval notation. So let's start with the solution set. We said x, and then we describe what x is. Remember, we said x is only any number that is greater than 20 over 7. Number line is just a visualization of the solution set. So 20 over 7 is here somewhere. Now we need to shade everything greater than 20 over 7, which is only this one. And 20 over 7, we have to make it open, like this. Finally, the number notation, we started from 20 over 7. We end up at infinity. Of course, infinity is always open. Now, how about 20 over 7? Well, 20 over 7 is not included, so it will be open brackets. And that's all the 3 solutions that we have. Thank you for watching.